Started. Welcome everybody. Monday afternoon, time for a nice little break away from the desk. My name is Luis Morales, health fitness specialist with Exos at Autodesk. And it is now time to kind of get some movement and some stretching in. So before we get that started, feel free to use the chat or come off mute, whatever you prefer. Let me know something that you feel needs a little bit of extra love shown to, or a little bit of extra stretching or movement. Could be an area of the body, could be a part of the body. Take a moment, take any suggestions you guys may have for this Monday afternoon. Ugh, feeling kind of tired. All right, you guys, so I'm not seeing anything in the chat. Oh, we got something in the chat. Hips of any kind. Yep, already on the list. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and get started. I got the RX pad out here, which means let's go ahead and drop down onto one knee here on the ground. Feel free to grab a pillow or a towel, or if you're on a softer surface, this usually helps. Usually the hardwood floor is not that fun for the knee on the ground. So we're starting out with some good hip stretching. You guys know that I feel we need the hip flexor stretch every single day, like 4 times a day. So let's get right into it. Whatever knee that we got on the ground, we're going to start by engaging that glute. So maybe you need to give your hip a little tap, squeeze that glute super hard, pull the belly button in towards the spine. And so we're kind of locked in through the midsection here. Now we can kind of push the hips forward a little bit. Depending on how tight you are, we just want to find a medium stretch here. So once you find that medium stretch, we're basically going to hang out and try and breathe while still keeping that belly button pulled in. And then think about kind of the breath going down. And as we inhale, that breath kind of going into the front of that hip there. The stretch can be kind of exaggerated by raising that same side arm up, maybe leaning away from that knee that's on the ground. But what we really want to focus on is keeping that glute squeezed the whole time. There's one thing that I want all of us to grasp, it's keeping that glute squeezed. All right, let's continue to breathe. One more big, deep breath. Good work, everybody. Okay, let's ease off that knee, ease off that tension. We're going to go ahead and put the other knee down now, switch it over to the other side. Same deal. Let's find that glute first, maybe give it a little tap. We're trying to squeeze that glute so our pelvis can tilt back. Bringing the belly button in towards the spine so we're nice and solid through that midsection. Maybe we're already feeling a stretch. We want to push it forward just a little bit, looking for that medium stretch, nothing crazy. And then from here, find that breathing. You can raise the arm up, lean away a little bit if you'd like. Or keeping the glute squeezed, whatever you decide to do. Keep it squeezed, maybe give it a little tap. Breathe into the front of that opposite hip. Good job, you guys. Keep that glute squeezed. One more big breath. Beautiful. Okay, let's slowly release the tension there. What we're going to do now is switch back over to having that first knee, whatever knee that was for you. We're going to put that first knee back down on the ground. And what we're going to do is get into a little more of an angular hip flexor stretch. Jazzy's been bringing this one back lately. I've been liking it a lot. So what we're going to start with, whatever knee that's on the ground, we're going to kind of externally rotate that leg. So instead of that foot being kind of behind me here, I'm going to rotate it so it's a little bit more under me. Or if I was kind of leaning back, it's kind of right under me as opposed to out to my side. All right, so that's the first step. We're going to then plant, instead of having that front leg be right in front, we're going to kind of bring it out to the side a little bit. Maybe you can point it out 45-degree angle, because that's where we're going to be going with that hip. So now we're going to keep that same kind of glute implementation here. We're going to squeeze that glute, push the hips forward here a little bit, kind of make this a dynamic stretch. So we're kind of sinking into it, trying to feel some stretch in the front of that hip, maybe the inside of the hip, maybe it's the adductors, maybe it's all of the above. But what we want to do with this one is just kind of go in and out. So squeezing the glutes, sinking into it, keeping the pelvis under us, breathing as we go, but we're kind of in and out. Good job, you guys. Let that kind of torso move naturally with the hips. You can kind of lean forward a little bit. We don't want to be leaning back too much. creating too much pressure on that spine. Let's do a couple more here. Remembering to squeeze the glutes, play around with the positioning a little bit. Everybody is different. All right, last one here. Sinking into it, squeezing the glute. Nicely done. Okay, time to switch it over. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. First, kind of rotating so that back foot comes a little bit closer to the midline for us. Then gonna get that foot, kind of front foot a little bit out to the side. Not too far away, but kind of out to the side, not directly in front of us. We're gonna go through the same thing. So back glute, trying to squeeze, push it forward a little bit, push it out to the side at an angle. We're just going in and out. Breathing as we go, exhaling that tension. Good. You guys might notice that one side may be a little bit tighter than the other. Maybe they're the same. Either way, it's really good to make this a normal practice. Keep those hips nice and loose. Keep them healthy and not prone to injury. Let's do a few more here. Keep breathing, keep squeezing that glute as we sink in and out. Good work, everybody, good work. Last one here, wherever we're at, let's sink in for one more. Breathe, glute squeeze, and we're coming out of it. Nicely done. All right, you guys, so next up, let's go ahead and stand all the way up. Next one, we're gonna be in standing. All right, I don't know about you, but a lot of people hold some stress up in the shoulders. And oftentimes when we work, when we get into that kind of working at the desk position, whether you're seated or standing, you're gonna build up a lot of tension and the stress in the upper traps above the shoulders here. So what I want us to do is plant those feet about shoulder width apart. What we're gonna do is raise those shoulders up. So give yourself a little shake, kind of loosen it up. Tummy is tight here. We're gonna shrug our shoulders up all the way to the ears as high as we can go. And then we're gonna let gravity just take hold and just kind of let those arms drop. So we're not kind of forcefully reaching the hands to the ground. We're shrugging up as much as we can and then just releasing here. Shouldn't be a crazy violent motion. Just letting those shoulder blades drop. Good job, you guys. Relieving some stress here, forcing those muscles above the shoulders to just relax a little bit as we let them fall back down towards the earth. You guys want to try and link it up with your own breathing. Feel free, try and inhale as those shoulders shrug up. And we can exhale all the tension and stress from last week, the weekend, just today maybe. Good, let's do two more. Make sure we're still standing straight up. Don't want to be bending backwards as we move these shoulders. Last one, guys. All the way up near the ears. And then we just let them drop. Good work, you guys. Okay, last thing that we're going to practice here today is just going to stretch out hopefully everything from our heels all the way up to our heads. So forward fold here, pretty standard here, guys. So with the feet about shoulder width apart, maybe it's a little more narrow. What we're going to practice is just that forward fold. So we're starting with the hips kind of directly over our feet and our ankles. But what we want to do as we fold forward is push those hips back, push all that weight behind us. And then that'll create some space. We can come down, try and reach our toes here. So let the head hang, keep pushing those hips back. It's okay if we can't touch the ground here today. We'll eventually come. Just gonna spend a minute here in this position. Breathe. I know we might be feeling some blood rushing into the head. It won't be long. But notice where this is tight for you. I mean, for me personally, it's in the calves. For some of you, it may be the low back. For some of you, it may be the hamstrings. For some of you, it may be all the above. Even the upper back can play a role here. Everything is connected from the skull to the heels, even under the foot.
So breathe into that tension on the backside, wherever it may be. Big inhales, letting the midsection expand. And with each exhale, we're starting to feel a little bit looser, a little bit more relaxed in this position. All right, everybody, good work. Way to hang out there with me, literally. Let's go ahead and bend those knees a little bit, and then we can kind of slowly roll ourselves up. Head, neck, and shoulders, last thing to come up. Squeeze those glutes. Take your time coming up. All right, you guys, so that is all the time I have left for this stretch break here today. Thank you so much for joining me. It felt good to kind of get some general movement in. I don't know about you guys, it is a real hot day here in Southern California. So it felt good to kind of move around, get out of the one spot. So don't forget, we do also have stretch breaks going on tomorrow. It's gonna be at 11 a.m. and 2:30 p.m. with Jazzy. We got my abs and core class at 4:30 p.m. tomorrow. And also don't forget, it is abs and core and mobility Monday today at 5 p.m. Brittany is back in town, ready to teach it. As always, Exos SharePoint site and hashtag Exos on Slack are going to be where you can find out everything that we got going on, programs, services, the whole 9 yards. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day. See you guys next time.
Thanks, Elise.
Thanks for coming, guys.